welcome to the Nuff Said podcast. We are talking season 4, episode 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Lockup. I am Rob Southgate. With me is
Alil Kanitsa.
Hey, Alil, and special guest
Phil Parrish.
Fill me in, Parrish, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was going to be a joke in there. I was leaving it wide open for a little nothing.
Oh, that's what she said. Okay.
He's
yeah.
like, not an explicit show. So,
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight. I'm actually wanting to talk Luke Cage too, but we're not going to do it on this show. We're going to save that. And we got lots of other stuff to talk about. Let's get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though. So right up, initial reaction. You watched it today, Alil, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a good episode, better than the last week. Again, still in that setup mode.
Yeah.
It's still not. And again, I understand you have to build up to that mid-season finale, but you can give us a little bit more than, a bunch of cliffhangers at the end. Like, okay, so Simmons knows something. The senator knows something. They're all wanting something. Nobody's saying what they're wanting or whatever.
Well, you know what? I was okay with that. The senator knowing something was the only real setup. The Fitz thing, or the Simmons thing, was that she knew he didn't save those people, that those were cropped photos. And I thought they looked that way too when they showed him on that George Stephanopoulos thing. I was like, those look fake.
Well,
So,
I thought they looked fake just because, we didn't see him in Civil War. So, it would have been a perfect tie-in if they had him in Civil War.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Can you imagine?
Why?
Now,
Why couldn't you have?
if they had done that, if he was there, no mention of him, nothing. And then all of a sudden he's director. And then when you go back and you watch the movie, you're like, oh, he's there. That would have been amazing.
As much as I love the Marvel Universe and Feige and them, I think that these little Easter eggs are what we're missing. We missed that at the end of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been Fitz and Simmons just walking around the helicarrier, helping them out?
Right.
They didn't have to say anything. You could have just had them standing there. Like,
Yeah.
they're under contract with Marvel. Like, you can do that.
That's the thing. There were so many rumors because Coulson was on set and Melinda May was on set.
Yeah.
Why weren't they there?
I don't know.
Do you think they're saving that for Infinity War?
Probably. I mean, Feige's been teasing it now more than ever.
Yeah, that like everybody under the sun is going to be there.
They're all, 68 characters. You've got to figure in S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. And even if it is just them watching a screen as stuff is happening somewhere, I don't know.
Right.
It's not going to be anything that they're going to be integral into the plot, but it'll be something that...
I'd like to see Mac with his shotgun axe, like stomping around. I think that would be awesome. Maybe him, just a quick shot of him and Luke Cage busting something up.
Why do they have to be there together?
Because I think of him as street level, and the thought of those two guys, because like Luke Cage running in just like hitting away, and then you see Mac behind him with the shotgun axe. I think that would be sweet. Not because they're black, I know what you were going for.
I don't know why couldn't it be Luke Cage and Daredevil on one side and Quake and
it could be. It could be.
Somewhere else. Like,
I've just always thought of Mac as being from the Luke Cage universe because I always thought he looked like he'd be Luke Cage.
It's terrible.
It's true. It's true. There's nothing wrong with that.
Personally, I would like to see all the Netflix characters in it. Let's get Ghost Rider in there, Punisher.
Luke Cage isn't a Netflix character, Phil.
Well, he's on Netflix. Luke Cage is on Netflix.
No, I mean Mac isn't.
Yeah, but I just mean, you can bring those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in, bring in all the Netflix characters.
They're all going to be there. They've hinted at it enough, and you know what? If they don't, that's a missed opportunity. That would be a big mistake.
It's free advertising for their Netflix stuff.
Netflix, and they also have to have the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Even if you have Ghost Rider's head light up for 1 second, you'd be like, oh, Ghost Rider's there, sweet.
I mean, that's all his head lights up for in the show. So.
Right. Okay, well, we got a tiny bit of Ghost Rider, but
again, that's all we get.
But we got to see him launch the chain this time, and that was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see him do the Ghost Rider Vulcan nerve pinch. And then we only got his head lit up for a second, but
he wasn't lit up when he had the chain. Like it's
no, I know
they're so.
But they might be teasing us.
I like this all. I do think he'll get his Netflix series and we'll get more Ghost Rider. I just don't think they can do it on TV. I think my guess is the cost of him in the Ghost Rider is probably as much as the rest of the show costs to make. Like that's my guess.
See, I think they're just teasing us with stuff like the chain. I think that if they had him already launching the chain with the lit head, we don't have anything that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
So it could be that that's all they're doing. Plus, they're being conservative with it, which is why next week is a big Ghost Rider episode. I think we're going to get a good, healthy amount of Ghost Rider.
Well, like I was going to say what Lil said. Maybe it's budget, but also, I mean, do you think it's where he's at? I mean, yeah, they moved it an hour later, but they're still on ABC. I mean, Ghost Rider needs to be on Netflix.
Yeah,
then you'll
Ghost
get
Rider
him,
needs to be on there.
Killing guys. We'll get blood and gore, and
Sure, I do like the interplay. I do think it kind of sucks that Coulson hasn't seen him change yet. Although he got a glimpse of him on that video, didn't he? Did he get to see him?
What video?
When they were showing the security footage, or was that just the director?
That was just the director because that was the footage that that the senator had that she was out to ABC.
How about to ABC? Right.
Why not CNN or Fox News? No.
How about the name check? How about the name check when they called him a real patriot?
Yeah,
that was great.
There was actually a few of that this episode. Like when they had that flashback to go find the book. A lot of that circus stuff was Johnny Blaze.
Yes.
That was the original Ghost Rider stuff. I mean, that's the circus and everything. And for a second there, it was a unicycle, but I was like, is that a motorcycle? Like, those, I forgot what they're called. Like those.
That was the unicycle from hell. Don't you remember that?
Yes, yeah, I remember. It was great when he was riding on the unicycle in flames. No, but I thought like the tire, like for a second, it looked like motorcycle.
Hands are free. He's whipping chains. He's juggling with one hand, whipping chains with the other. It's all on fire, and it's a unicycle.
And I'm wondering if they found that because they said like the person's been gone. Like if that was Johnny Blaze's house, because like you saw like motorcycle helmets, you saw like. Like
you
an
saw
Evil Knievel type helmet up on a shelf.
Same thing. I was thinking the same thing. That was Blaze's house. For some reason, the character of the Ghost Rider has been under everybody's radar until now. But maybe he was thought of as an urban legend or something.
And probably so. I mean, I think at that point, like if you are going after evil and you're doing the devil's work or whatever you want to. My guess is a lot of your stuff will be, hidden in the shadows.
Yeah.
So I can see that Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider has been kind of that urban legend, and then now that we've got Robbie as Ghost Rider, like he's been a little bit more out in the open because he's been.
Yeah, because in the Ghost Rider comics, if you go back and you read the old comics, there were multiple Ghost Riders over time.
Over time, yeah. Even in the movie, even in the Nick Cage movie, there was multiple Ghost Riders when the dude was on his horse and flaming out.
Oh, I forgot about that. See, there was something cool in those movies.
We didn't get any Nick Cage Easter eggs.
That if they would have shown Nick Cage, like I think I would have been like, I would have been like, yes, I would have been happy for it.
When it's in the basement, and we're thinking, is this Johnny Blaze's place? And there'd be a picture of vampire Nick Cage behind him or something. That would have been amazing.
Like a big like martini glass filled with jelly beans because he had to have that on set in Ghost Rider, like just something crazy. That you're like, wait, is that canon? Is that? I don't know. Or
that would be really cool if they did that.
They should have set something up, or even had like the movie poster for The Rock or something like back there that everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say Con Air,
something Nick Cagey back there. Peggy Sue Got Married, something like that. Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Raising Arizona would be great.
Actually, we're naming all the good ones. We should be naming some of the terrible ones. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. They own that. They could do something with that.
They could have.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he'll show up as a Sorcerer's Apprentice in this.
National Treasure.
I like National Treasure.
I do too. I do too.
Don't talk ill of National Treasure.
I actually like the second one too. It's not as good as the first, but I like that one. I think they're good movies.
Yeah. He was trying to be indie. It was okay.
It's okay. And it introduced us to that the girl. I like her. She's been good and stuff. She was in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, she was.
Remember that scene? That was a great scene. I want to bring up a quote because this one was awesome. This might be a quote for Nuff said. Coulson turns to me and says, "Want to go to prison? Could be Taco Tuesday." I think, did we write that?
That was from the Lego movie, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, Taco Tuesdays, yep.
Well, Taco Tuesdays from Life. I mean, Taco Tuesdays is everywhere.
I know, but I think the Lego movie, because now my kids talk about Taco Tuesday.
Oh, no, I knew it way before Lego movie. I mean, I used to work in a mall, and there was a Taco John's upstairs, and we waited for Taco Tuesday. 2 tacos for $1. It was awesome. I'd go up and spend $10. I'd walk out with 20 tacos. Awesome.
We could tell.
And diarrhea.
Him and Jack carting out all these tacos.
Jack wasn't there. Jack and I used to go to Taco Bell. Actually, he doesn't remember.
The 30-pack.
He doesn't remember this story. But we went, oh, yeah, it was sick, man. We ate so much. We were in college, you know. There was a great story, and I told this to him when he was here, and he's like, oh, I don't remember. Probably because it happened so much to him. We went out to Taco Bell. We were with somebody else. And, of course, when we go, we'd spend like, $10 each at Taco Bell. At that time, $10 in Taco Bell was like,
oh, yeah.
It was like a smorgasbord. It was everything.
Get like 2 meals, 2 or 3 meals.
We're sitting there just, chowing down, eating all these tacos and stuff. And at the end of it, Jack stands up and an entire like tostada falls off of him onto his seat, right? Like he's standing up and he takes a tostada shell and he scooped it on and then he's walking out eating it. I'm like, that's the most disgusting thing. You just ate off a Taco Bell seat. He's like, it's got all the preservatives. It's good for you. That's Jack.
Huh? I met him in person and I smelled him in person. So
it's real.
You smelled him?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You got to take the whiff.
You sniffed his butt? What?
When you're with Jack, you have to embrace the essence.
Take it all in.
Yep.
Yes. Jack is something else. He's been too busy. We haven't started putting on Jacking Around yet. I got to get him on our Nuff Said Patreon page.
I would come up with a different name, but yeah.
I would not. I think it's the funniest.
I've got better names.
Yeah, but we don't want to be explicit. I know exactly what name you want to use.
Of course.
Yes. How about this one? Careful, you've been murdering people possessed and on fire. That was a Sky or Daisy or whatever her name is. That was her quote. She said to Ghost Rider, careful, you've been murdering possessed people and on fire.
I really did not like her this episode.
No?
No, she was actually annoying me.
Really?
When she went to go take on all the...
Yeah, that was stupid. I mean, I didn't mind it when she's like, she locked the door, but I went, when she knocked that handle off, you know what happens when you knock a handle off like that, right?
You can open the door.
The door swings open slowly.
Yeah, the door doesn't lock.
Colson's standing there, you probably with his finger in the thing to hold it closed, going, let us in.
Well, no. Colson has his mechanical hand.
Boom.
He had the shield pop. He could probably open that door.
Talk about the shield for a second.
Yeah.
That is the greatest cosplay. I got to get my hands on one of those. That was the coolest. And it had the shield logo in the center.
It looked to me like every time it hit, like a bullet was hitting it, like the logo in the middle flickered. I wanted to pause it. I didn't have a chance to, but it looked like it made a star. It really felt like it did. I got to pause it. Maybe it was just me.
Well,
imagining, hoping,
it had the rings like Cap's shield.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great Easter egg because he's such a Cap fanboy. In the comics for a while, when Cap lost his shield, he had one of those like energy shields.
Yeah.
Tony made it for him. It was amazing. I loved that shield. That was a highlight of this episode. I actually liked the concept here too, of them, in that prison, Ghost Rider running into that. What is he? The five fingers or whatever.
5 Street.
Yeah, 5 Street discount, whatever they are. Although the guy's like, well, we found out a little bit. We found out that it was a hit on them.
Yeah.
in the comics, it wasn't specifically, at least in the first few issues that I read. It was more of a random act of violence. But here he finds out that it was an actual hit. Why was there a hit? Was his brother dealing? Was his brother part of a gang?
Or maybe it was something that his uncle or his parents. I mean, we don't know a lot except for his uncle taking care of him.
Yeah.
So maybe there was something there that we don't know. And yeah, it's a good Easter egg. And it's a good thread that they can do something with on Netflix.
Yes.
They're not going to solve it here.
They're gonna solve some of it here.
Oh, they will, because they have the uncle involved. And maybe that's what it's part of. Maybe the uncle was involved in stuff that
Well, we're going to find it out next week, because next week they're going back to tell us some of the Ghost Rider origin.
Right.
So we will probably see, because if you go by Robbie's story in the comics, after his brother gets injured, Robbie wants revenge, gets shot up. I believe, does he get shot up or hit by a car or something? And that's when he makes the deal with the devil to exact revenge for it. And then he comes back and he, flame on from that point on. So I think we're going to see that. We may or may not get the resolution as to why there was the hit. I have a feeling it's the friend and Robbie was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Although I don't know. They're kind of playing, not Robbie, whatever his brother's name is.
Is it Gabe?
Gabe, yeah. They are playing his brother different than he's played in the comics.
He's a little older here, isn't he?
He's a little older. And in the comics, he seems like Arnie from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Here, he doesn't have that same kind of thing going. So,
but yeah,
I don't know. Let's see. Security on Ghost Rider. Yeah, security footage, that was really cool. I liked that angle, how we saw him walk in with his head on fire, and they're like, and who's this guy? What is he? I do think that we are, Lil, you had mentioned this before. Is he going to be an Inhuman? Are they going to go that route? Which I hope they don't. I don't think they are. I think this is going to be what we think it is. Otherwise, you're changing the essence of the character too much. And the fact that the Inhumans aren't identifying him as Inhuman tells me that he is something different.
Well, do you think this could be our Doctor Strange tie-in? If they show, if the devil is actually Mephisto, and then they show Mephisto and Doctor Strange, maybe?
I think
it's for 2 seconds.
I think that there will be a Doctor Strange tie-in. I don't know if we're going to see Cumberbatch on here. We might. That might be but he does TV. He might.
He does. I don't see it. I mean, I just don't. They haven't given us this kind of character yet in 4 seasons.
Yeah, but this would be the time to do it. When Doctor Strange comes out, maybe the next week, because they have done big tie-ins to the movies. And I think that this Ghost Rider thing is a perfect opportunity to do it, even if he just shows up and grabs the book and you just see a quick boom. Mm-hmm. That would be, because it's his book.
Random person grabbing the book in Doctor Strange regalia.
No. I want to see
from a side shot. You don't see Cumberbatch.
See just the hand come in.
Yeah, right. It's like my hand, missing finger, and everything comes in there. That's not Cumberbatch.
So nasty.
That's more like Cumberbund. And then we'll make him say penguins. Lucy. We figured out the ghost name is Lucy. I didn't know that before. That storyline I know is supposed to be important. For some reason, it's not tracking for me. I know that it's for the plot device with the book. I don't know. Are you guys into that story? Are you into that character?
No.
They just have to tie it into something, tie it into Ghost Rider or whatever else is going on. But it just seems like its own little thing that's okay, whatever.
When she was in the background in the first couple episodes, I thought it was really cool how they had her kind of going in and out, and there was this weird mystery to it. Now when they show her, it looks like an effect out of Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'm like, what is? Yeah, really, man. It looks like they're trying to make him look like the Frighteners, but the Frighteners was awesome, and she's not. I did like the effect of those ghost guys getting, flamed out by Ghost Rider. I thought that was cool. And what a great way to have people die on screen. You don't have that attachment. On here, they're not going to show him burn somebody alive, right? But having him be a ghost, you can have the whole thing go up, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
On Netflix, burn them. Burn them all.
Rip them apart, everything, yeah.
I think that's why we have this story here, because they're not going to show Ghost Rider doing anything. We see the aftermath a little bit. Right. They're not going to show it, but you're right. They get a cool burning Blade flame effect when Blade would kill those vampires and they would just like, puff up in the fire and
the
smoke.
ash. Kind of like the Buffy one when they ash when Buffy hits them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Make them non-human and you can do all sorts of things. Maybe we'll go that route too. Maybe we'll see that by next year. Like they'll start having, Mephisto and some of that stuff happening. We'll get some vampire action. That'd be awesome. Do you think we'll get that? Or is that too tied to Spider-Man universe? I wonder.
I don't know.
Mephisto?
No, Morbius.
Oh. He first appeared in Spider-Man, but I don't know if he...
Yeah, well, so did Punisher, so did...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know.
A lot of characters first appeared in Spider-Man, so I don't know. I mean, just like, Inhumans first appeared in Fantastic Four.
Right.
So I don't know how it was pieced off.
Yeah.
I can see it because Morbius had a big arc on the cartoon in the 90s. So I can see it being...
I would like to see it happen. Especially now that we're introducing magic. We've got science, we've got magic, we've got the mystical. Give us some of that vampire stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but like the Dracula series from Marvel was great. I loved it. I've talked about it before on here. I like Morbius. I think it's a great story, and I think that there's something that could be done with that. If you start bringing the Blade characters in, and maybe that's the plan. Maybe they're doing Ghost Rider here as a test market for Ghost Rider. They put him on Netflix. Now they've got a new property. Maybe there's a lot of rumors about Blade being made as a Netflix show. Maybe either second half of the year.
There's rumors about Blade being in an Underworld movie.
Really? No.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that. That's not tied to the Marvel Universe.
There's what's her face? I can't remember her name. The lead actress.
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, she was quoted that Marvel's working with Blade and stuff, and I guess Kevin Feige was at a set for the latest Underworld movie.
Maybe it'll be a cameo or something.
I don't know.
I can't imagine they would use that as like canon for this. Can you?
It'll be like old Wesley Snipes Blade or something.
Could you? I mean, if Marvel, let's say Marvel bought the property.
Sure.
And use that as the setup for this Blade series. I can see it, and it might
actually
work.
I could see that too.
Because if you look at the Underworld movies and you look at the original Blade movies,
there's a similarity.
Kind of tie. They can fit. You can put them together easily.
Yeah. Well, take that universe and have Blade in there cutting them up. That would be pretty good.
You have Blaze and his motorcycle coming through.
Then you get all those werewolves and.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna get a Ghost Rider series on Netflix. I don't know if it's gonna be Robbie. I think the Netflix series might end up being Blaze, and Robbie sticks around Shield.
All right, here I found on IO9, Underworld wanted. This is just from the other day. Underworld wanted a Blade crossover, but Marvel's called dibs. Underworld Blood Wars star Kate Beckinsale said the team wanted Blade to show up in their sweet bloody action, but Marvel's plans for the famous vampire hunter got in the way. They're already working on something for the character. You know what? I am going to throw this down right here. I'm going to mark my words. Blade's going to show up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the way Ghost Rider is. That reboots the character. That allows them to do whatever, because they're not going to just jump into a Blade movie. They've got enough on their plate. They would definitely do a Blade Netflix series, but the way they're introducing Ghost Rider here, if you do the same thing with Blade, you open a whole world of funky characters, which is exactly what they need. Mark my words, either the second half of this season or beginning of next season, Blade.
Not second half of this season.
Mark my words.
No
Why not?
way.
Why not? What's
Too
happening
soon.
second half? What's happening second half of this season?
I don't know. They're leading up to, it's Guardians, so I guess they could do anything. There's no tie-in.
There's no tie-in. And it doesn't have to be immediate. It could be halfway through the last 4 episodes. This guy is showing up and they're dealing with vampires. And then you've got the Coulson, like, flaming heads, vampires. What is this world we're living in?
Huh.
Mark my words.
That'd be cool.
All right.
Yeah,
they're Mark. You're wrong.
It'd be cool eventually if they on Netflix they did like another team show like the Defenders, except it was like all the supernatural characters like Ghost Rider, Blade,
Man Thing. Bring the Man Thing from Sci-Fi Channel movie. That's such a bad movie. You guys seen that?
No. Did we lose Rob?
I think so.
Which one are you talking about?
The Man
what?
Thing, Man Thing Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Terrible. But this goes all the way back to the first season of Nuff Said. When Netflix first announced this stuff, we were talking about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We haven't heard what's officially in phase 2, and I guarantee there is a phase 2. It would make sense for phase 2. Punisher is your crossover character, okay? Now you get phase 2 is this mystical stuff where you've got Ghost Rider, you've got Blade, maybe you do Morbius. You've got that kind of thing going. And yes, you've done the Defenders. Now you do like the Dark Defenders or whatever you want to call them. It's a completely different avenue for them to work into.
Yeah, the problem with doing something like that is, number one, is the money invested. They're not dropping Luke Cage season 2, Jessica Jones. We know we're getting season 2s already from all those characters.
Yeah, but we also know they're going to be launching other characters. Why wouldn't
right? But they're not going to launch them. They're not going to launch them as rapidly as needed to create a separate Defenders.
Sure, they would. They would.
I don't think that there's not enough. It costs a lot of money to put these shows out. I get it. Netflix is a juggernaut, but you know what? They're still not going to. They're not going to bleed themselves dry.
But we're going back to another set of marked words. What happens when Disney buys Netflix, which is the big rumor?
Yeah, now, rumors somebody was trying to buy Disney.
But now Disney, no, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
Who's buying Disney?
After the was it the AT&T
Warner Brothers?
Time Warner, yeah.
Time Warner merger, there was talks that AT&T was looking at Disney. AT&T was looking at there's been other entities popping up saying that Disney might not be sold, but people are trying to make a play for it.
Sure. Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, Disney might buy Netflix, but that still doesn't mean that they're going to be able to produce that many shows.
Yes, it is. Yes, it does. Because I'll tell you what, when this is why Disney works so well. They can do in-house production that costs less because they own every aspect of it. It's the same thing George Lucas did with Star Wars. And when Disney bought Lucasfilm, it got all that infrastructure for Star Wars, which is why we're getting so much. And now they're talking about a full series of like more than one TV show, live action TV show based in Star Wars. Those are expensive to make.
Yeah,
but if they own a production,
they've talked about that for a long time. It's
getting close. Yes, it is. If you go front to back, which is what Disney does, they can do this kind of thing. That's where people like Time Warner run into trouble. They're too diversified, and when they try to do that with all their DC properties, they're not focused on those properly. And then it gives you weaker elements. I really, truly believe that Disney could pull that off. Are they going to do – I think the only thing that's saturating the market would be their bigger concern. But if they give us –
part of it too, it's saturating the market. It's not diversifying the market enough because – and I am not superhero I'm not over the superhero genre. I'll never be.
No.
I hear lots of people talking about it. Like when I talk about how good Luke Cage is, oh, it's another superhero. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch that. I don't need to see another superhero series. And they're missing out, yes, but it's going to happen. You cannot produce 4 or 5 13-hour shows a year to do what you want to do. It's not going to happen. They're not going to invest that money into this one umbrella. It's just not going to happen. Because, as you say, they're going to do Star Wars. They're probably going to do some other things. Even if they buy Netflix, they're going to have other content out that they want to focus on because their main focus is not the superhero genre. Yes, they have Marvel doing that, but they don't have that much money allocated to just Marvel doing that. Because if they did, with how much money all these movies are making, we wouldn't be only getting 2 to 3 a year. We would be getting one every quarter at least.
Yeah, but we wouldn't because of saturating the market, and that's the same problem they're going to have with Netflix.
Well,
but if they put them out, they do 2 series now. They've said they're going to 3. If they do 3 a year, that's all they have to do, and that allows for this second strand. And
yeah, but now they have sequels coming up. That's the problem. Like they've already got these people tied up in storylines laid out for sequels. People want to see the sequels to the stories that they've left alone.
Sure.
So they can tie in Luke Cage and Iron Fist and go Heroes for Hire and boom, knock 2 of them out with 1 because that's where they belong.
Sure.
But you're going to have a second season alone with Jessica Jones because she's a female character, a female hero, and they want to use that.
Right.
You're going to get Daredevil. You're going to get Punisher. So that's 4 right there. And if they throw in,
but those are
Ghost
all
Rider,
those are all technically part of Phase 1.
Yeah, but but the thing is, I think the phase system is out for Netflix.
No, I don't think so. Not for Marvel though. And look at what Marvel did. You'd think you're getting an Iron Man movie every 2 years for the rest of your life. We got 3. They're pretty much done with Iron Man. They may come back and do a 4th. But now they've handled these properties properly.
But they're only done with Iron Man because Downey's not signed, and they want to save him for the coup de grace, the Avenger movies, because but they're also bringing Downey into Spider-Man. They're bringing Downey into Civil War, because Civil War, you could say, was an Iron Man movie in itself.
They're allowing themselves trilogies, maybe a little further, and moving on. Captain America, they've already said there's another Captain America movie that's going to be in the works, but it's a different avenue. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, we will see, even if we don't get, okay, so let's say that we get Blade. What if they did a series, instead of doing a Blade or a Ghost Rider exclusive series, they launch them here on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they show us what it's like, and they give us what Phil said. They give us like a Dark Defenders one-shot series, 8 episodes, that has these 4 characters or 3 characters. We have their storylines interweaving. That gives us, as fanboys, everything we want, but it's one series. It's one expensive series, but it's one series. No?
Well, couldn't they do like the movies, though, after like we get the Jessica Jones season 2, after we get Luke Cage season 2, then they start on those characters?
Sure, because I don't think we're going to see those characters for at least a couple of years.
So you take a year off of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Daredevil, and you bring in Ghost Rider and Punisher. And
this might be where the misstep was in the beginning. They should have just done Heroes for Hire, told the Luke Cage and Iron Fist story together. Mm-hmm. Let Daredevil have his own. Let Jessica Jones have her own, because you're establishing something different. Do Luke Cage and Iron Fist, then do a Defenders. Now you have a little bit more room for sequels. Do I wish they did that? No, I'm glad we got a whole Luke Cage, and I'm really looking forward to Iron Fist. But that might have made a lot of sense. Now, going forward, maybe they do Jessica Jones series 2, and like you said, the next one is they don't do a Luke Cage standalone. They do a Luke Cage Iron Fist Heroes for Hire. They're done with Jessica Jones after 2. They only use her in the Defenders stuff. And Daredevil gets to season 3, and we're done with Daredevil.
With her popularity, they're not doing that. They're not doing that.
You don't think so?
No, Jessica Jones is going to go off on her own series because they have something there, something special that nobody else is doing.
Jessica Jones doesn't cost very much.
And that's fine. But the thing is, it still takes time. And there's still a cost. The only thing I could see with them doing a Blade Ghost Rider, maybe if they have Morbius or a Man Thing, throw that in there, to do kind of an anthology Netflix series where each of these guys get a couple episodes within the same season, and you end the last season of them teaming up for something. It's an anthology that interweaves. You could use, and Marvel did a lot of these anthology comics. A lot of these guys came out of these anthology comics.
Right.
Tomb of Dracula, Adventures of, whatever. I forgot what the Morbius was.
The Living Vampire.
Well, no, I think it was something else. I think it was.
Wasn't it called The Adventures of the Living Vampire?
No, I think it was An Adventure into Fear.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can do that. You can make it a Marvel anthology. So, and again, this would be great, because what this does then is you're taking, for the most part, Morbius, Man Thing, Blade is not, Ghost Rider is not, but you're taking some C, D level characters, and you're giving them a little bit of that sunshine. So you're bringing them in. People are getting a little bit, because then what they can do is they can
put those characters with Blade and Ghost Rider, and it elevates them to that B level.
Right, and I can't remember what that book was that Ghost Rider had, where he had everybody in it. There was, or even if you want to call it like Spirits of Vengeance or something like that, do something like that, and you have all these guys together.
Midnight Suns.
Was it Suns? I can't.
Midnight Suns. I know in the 90s they did that. Yeah, Midnight.
That's
Suns.
right. It was in the 90s. That's what I'm thinking about. So you have 13 episodes, right? So if you do an introduction in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so you already have Robbie. Robbie's already been out there. If people want to know a little bit more about Robbie, you can do a little bit more into his story there. You get a couple episodes where it's just a Blade story, because most of these movies that we get are an hour and a half long,
Right.
2 hours. That's 3 or 4 episodes on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Actually,
wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
You just hit on
That's
it.
2 episodes of Netflix.
Wait, you just hit on it.
Anthology in 1 season.
Yeah, you just hit on it. That's what we talked about before on here. And I'm going to say Phil is wrong just because I want to. What if they did it as hour and a half, 2 hour movies for these characters? Ghost Rider gets a 2 hour movie on Netflix only. It's the cost of one movie. You don't have to put the money that you put into an MCU big budget film, but we get that satisfaction. We get a contained story. They don't have to stretch it out over 13 episodes. It costs a lot less. Here's your anthology series. But you got to make sure you do it as longer form, just like the Sherlock show. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you have 2 episodes because they're 40 minutes, so each. So you've 80 minutes, maybe 3 if you want to, or they're 45, 50. However, they're all over the place. When they do these series, 2 to 3 episodes per these characters. You get 4 characters in there. That's 12 episodes, and then episode 13 is your big blowout, where the reason why we're following all these characters came to pass. It could be the book like they're doing on S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, or it could be something else that could bring all these guys up. And you don't need 3 episodes for a certain character. You might be able to do a good Man-Thing story in 2 episodes that kind of leads him to, for some odd reason, coming into contact with a Ghost Rider or with a Morbius or something that happens, or they end up going there, and that's where you get your Man-Thing story. I mean, you've got these tie-ins, and it could be a Dracula story. It could be called Tomb of Dracula, where it's Dracula who is the villain in this, and all these guys have to team up together.
Well, you know what character they have to introduce that could bridge, from the phase 1 to these supernatural phase 2 characters? Moon Knight. Because Moon Knight has the whole Egyptian god thing going on, but he's also kind of like a street level character.
I think when they do Moon Knight gets his own Netflix series. I don't think.
First, and then that bridges, that gets you the supernatural stuff.
And I think that is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, and with NBC trying Constantine being on the CW. There's talks about the Dark Avengers. I'm sorry.
Justice League.
Yeah, the Dark Justice. Well, Guillermo del Toro was tied to that. He's out, but it's definitely they're doing an animated film, and now there's definite word of a live action film. Although now with this merger with AT&T, we could see that DCU start to change.
Possibly.
Too bad, but I think we could. Adventures in Fear, is that what you're talking about? No, that's Man-Thing.
Well, one of those. I mean, there was a lot of. I think Morbius' first appearance was actually in that, or he appeared in that. I can't remember. But what I'm saying is you make that as an anthology. You save Netflix and Disney, then they save their money. They're able to give us 3 or 4 because you don't have to do them all. You can do 3 or 4 characters in that one thing to tie into a bigger evil bad.
Let's do Legion of Monsters. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do it all. You know what? I'm going to greenlight the entirety of the Marvel canon right now.
Okay.
You guys with me?
Yeah. What's my budget?
Yeah.
Phil, what do you got in your wallet?
I don't know. What do we got?
Yeah, right. That's Southgate Media Group money right there. Boom.
Oh, great. Does that mean we're casting us like Squirrel Girl as Charlie Esser as Squirrel Girl?
I'd love to see that. That big mustache. Bring the mustache back. Bring back the stash. Bring back the stash.
Oh, man.
So, all right. Did we talk out this show? We should move on.
I think we did.
Obviously, Phil and May are starting to, they're going to make them a couple. We're getting that. Felinda is coming, I have a feeling. What was the reference to the blue-skinned killers in Wyoming? Did you catch that?
Yeah, remember the Cree?
Yeah, but was that in Wyoming? I mean, I don't remember. She was talking about it. Is this a storyline that we're going to hear about?
Where do they find what's his face? Didn't the Cree show up at?
Weren't they in the hidden base or whatever? Or
yeah, one of the where I thought they were like in Utah or Wyoming or somewhere out there, like in the middle of nowhere, because they were on like a really small little town that they took over when Hive took over, that little town that they went into.
Oh, you think that's what they were referring to?
Before that, it was what's his face who who got caught last episode, who was working with the Watchdogs. I can't remember his name. The other guy who's got the fire powers.
Yeah.
I thought he lived out like in Wyoming or somewhere. Remember, because they went and he had that Kree piece that activated, and that's when those two Kree showed up.
Okay, so that must be what they were talking about. I thought they were trying to lay something in there. I also, this is another thing that I liked, but I have mixed feelings about it. Obviously, the whole thing that they were recruiting the prisoners for the Watchdogs. We should have seen some Watchdogs in there.
We did,
but we didn't get. It wasn't. We got her saying, "Look, they're recruiting from these guys. They're building this into here."
But they all have tattoos on their hands. They all had the Watchdog.
Oh, did they? I didn't see the tattoo.
Yeah, they all had the tattoos. That's why she noticed it, because everybody there, like on their hands, they had that Watchdog symbol that was like right there on the.
Oh, all right. Well, I wasn't paying attention closely enough.
Terrible. And you host a podcast.
I do. That's why we're co-hosts, because I am not skilled enough to be the only host. Cameo by Stanley.
Stanley. There you go.
All right. Is that it? Did we cover everything?
I think so.
I think I've said everything I need to say.
All right.
Go Cubs, go.
I think we'll end it right there. Thanks for listening, everybody. Rate us, review us on iTunes, rate us, review us on Google Play, and wherever else you get your podcasts. We have been adding shows to our YouTube channel, SouthgateMediaGroup.com, but we're going to work on getting our own YouTube channel, our own Nuff Said YouTube channel. If anybody out there wants to join the team, maybe help out with that end of things, or with social media, contact us. Write to me. You can tweet me at Nuff Said Podcast. No, at Nuff Said Pod. See why we need help. Go to our Facebook page. Just type in Nuff Said Podcast. You'll find it. Same thing with Instagram. I put the links in this show for all that in the show notes. And and we have a Pinterest board too. So that's it. Alil, give your social media.
You can find me on Twitter at LOGEEKZ, and that's for the League of Geeks podcast.
Yeah, they're lighting it up. And Phil, give your social media.
I'm on Twitter at Nightwing PDP. I'm all over the Nuff Said feed. I also do the Before the Bat and Legends of DC podcasts, also on Southgate Media Group.
That's lighting it up too. So yeah, if you like all that DC stuff, follow Phil and his stuff because it's really good. And that's it. Let's get out of here. Enough said.
Enough said.
Enough said.